All right, today we're doing our notes on function vocabulary and introduction to functions. So first, a set of input and output pairs, these xy's. This is a relation. And a relation is where each input x has exactly one output, and this makes a function. Okay? Now functions have two parts. There is a domain and a range. So the D is domain. It's also referred to as our input. It is also our x value. And it is also our independent variable. So this is normally the choice that we make in our problems, how much stuff we buy, how much time there is, that sort of thing. The next part is our range. So our range is referred to as our output. So domain is input, range is output. Domain is x values, range are y values. And this is our dependent variable. It depends, its value depends on the independent variable. So the independent variable goes into the function, it creates a relation, and it gives us a set of values. Again, the x values, these are domain, this is input, independent variables. Our y values, these are our range, our outputs, and our dependent variables. They depend on our independent. So the question of, is it a function? Remember, it has to follow this rule. Each input has exactly one output. So that means all of our x values here, I'm going to use red here. I'm going to try and keep red as x values and blue as y values. You see how there's only our domain here is -2, 3, 5, and 8. So each input has exactly one output, meaning our x values are only used one time. -2 is only used once. 3 is only used once. 5 is only used once. And 8 is only used once. So this, yes, is a function. If you notice, I didn't even bother looking at our y values. I do not care about these values. They can repeat, they can be different. That is not how we determine if it's a function. If we're determining that it's a function, we are only concerned about the domain values. So here, again, our domain values are the x values. Our domain is -1, 3, 3, 5. So because these guys repeat, that is no, not a function. Because these x values repeat, that means we have one x value and two different outputs. We can't have that. There can only be one. Imagine going to the Coke machine and pressing to buy a Coke and all of a sudden getting a Mountain Dew. That's what's going on here. We cannot repeat these values. Here in a table, again, we look for our x values. 0, 1, 2, 3. So none of the x values repeat. This is a function. Here, they all repeat 2's. And it doesn't matter that they repeat it all the time or if they just repeat it once. It's automatically no, not a function. Again, I don't care that my y values repeat here. Again, to use the Coke machine analogy again, If you go to a Coke machine, whether you press the 0 button, the 1 button, the 2 button, or the 3 button, they're all the same price. Okay? So if whether you're buying a Coke or a Dr. Pepper or a Mountain Dew or a Pepsi, whatever, they're all the same price. This saying they're all $3. It doesn't matter which button you pick. That's perfectly fine. What's not okay is me going to a Coke machine, hitting the button for a Coke, and then maybe getting a Sprite, maybe getting a Dr. Pepper, maybe getting a Pepsi. So all of a sudden, all these are getting different outputs with the same input. That's not okay. For a graph, we have what's called a vertical line test. So what a vertical line test is we look at our function, whether it's a graph like this and connected, or it's dots. And what we do is we can either use a pencil and lay our pencil flat like this, or you can draw vertical lines. And as long as you only hit the function one time, so here, 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 even over here, even if I don't touch it at all, that's okay. This is a function because I am only hitting it once, because for each x value, I'm only getting one y value. My x value right here hits right here. My x value right here hits right here. The x value here at -1 hits here. At -2, it hits down here. All of those are perfectly fine. Here, at 4, I hit it twice, here and here. That's not okay. It also happens here at 2. It hits twice. Not okay. I cannot repeat my x values. Okay? So, when I draw a vertical line, no matter where it goes, I can only hit it once. This only hits once over here, so that's perfectly fine. But these over here, not okay. In a mapping diagram, this is one of the few times that you'll see mapping diagrams. We don't use it very often anymore. But in a mapping diagram, here's our x values, our input. These can only have one arrow off of them. So -4 goes to -3. -2 goes to -6. 0 goes to 2. 8 goes to 0. 3 goes to 3. All of those are perfectly fine. For every x, there is only one y. And this is also written in function notation. This g of x, you're going to see this later. This is the same thing as y. Here, that -4 is okay. That -2 is okay. That 0 is okay. But that 3, having 2 spots, that's not okay. That immediately means it's not a function. Now here, what you would have to do here is you would have to graph these. So you can go to Desmos. I'm not able to bring up Desmos in the video, but you would go to Desmos and you would type this in. And you would get a line that looks something like this. And it would pass your vertical line test, which is perfectly fine. So this is a yes. You could also bring it up and click to hit a table and have it make an XY table, and it would give you different values. And that would be 8, and that would be 12. All of that is perfectly fine. For every x, there is only one y. Here, if you were to graph this would be a vertical line right here. And that is not okay because it does not pass the vertical line test, because all of these values here hit that line. If you were to make a table, your x would be -2. And you could have a y equals 4. You could have a y equals 0. You could have a y equals -2. All of these points on this. This is no, because it makes a vertical line. So it does not pass the vertical line test because it is a vertical line. So there you go. Those are your notes on whether or not determining something is a function or not. Remember, for every x, there is exactly one output, or y.